Come to the grown-ups table. Welcome to my channel where I peacefully disturb your illusion and where the truth only hurts when you live a lie. All bets are off if the games is rigged. I asked my mom, I said, is it harder on my generation than it was on her generation, just to see if she would answer truthfully. And my mama didn't cut no corners on me. She literally said, your generation is harder on your generation. She answered it truthfully because people also feel like the game is rigged. With the economy, healthcare, politicals, you name it. Like literally in gambling, if you discover a game is rigged, the wager loses legitimacy. And the game only has legitimacy if you believe that everyone is playing under the same rules. Now the game, we could be talking about the economy, the government, law, or any institutions. Now all bets are off when you no longer want to cooperate in a system where you feel like the game is lacking legitimacy. People participate in a system when they partly, not all the way, they don't have to all the way believe in it, but something about them have to partly believe in the system in order for them to participate in it. They have to believe something about it. They don't have to believe everything but something. Destroy their belief, then you destroy their will to cooperate. Legitimacy is a form of power. Once that's violated, resistance will follow. And this example has actually been happening throughout the course of history, believe it or not. The Civil Rights Movement, the Haitian Revolution, the Indian Independence Movement, the French Revolution, the American Revolution. Matter of fact, a brief history lesson. Let's talk about the American Revolution just for a brief period of time. 1775 through 1783. The American colonies believed that the British arrangement was literally unfair. And they're talking about the Stamp Act. And they believed that the rule was so illegitimate to the point that they stopped playing by the rules. This targeted a political split, wars, and a new nation. The colonies declared their independence. France and Spain got involved and the Britons lost. All of this happened because the Britons started taxing them without giving them a voice or representation. Do you honestly know what that would look like in 2026? Taxing you without a voice or representation means that you couldn't vote. Your leaders would just be assigned to you. The governments would literally control your bank accounts, meaning that they can just go into your bank app and literally just take what they want without talking to you about it. That type of stuff was kind of going on in a different way back in that time. Not saying that they had apps, but I'm finna break it down. No fair trial. That means if you was accused of a crime like, cheating on your taxes, you wouldn't get fair trial. You wouldn't get a jury. A soldier or a computer would just tell you that you were guilty. No privacy. That means the police can search your phone without warrants and all that shit. That's how it looks if you're taxed without representation or voice. See, back then, the Britons started a Stamp Act without even asking the colonies. Didn't ask how they feel about it. Didn't ask they were cool with it. Didn't even give them a voice. Didn't even give them a choice. How would that look like in 2026? That would be like going into your bank, taking your money without your input. Back then, colonies protested tea tax. Britons banned town meetings. They literally put military in charge of Boston. They literally, you couldn't protest. Now, how would that look in 2026? That would be like the government blocking your social media accounts and arresting you for protesting online. That's what that would look like. Now, enough of history. Citizens becoming angry, that ain't so much as dangerous. What's dangerous is when the citizens stop believing that the rules deserves obedience. A lot of criminals break laws because they feel like the laws lack legitimacy. Consciousness over compliance. Civil obedience. If you sit at a poker table and you discover the dealer is cheating and stacking the cards against you and you find out that the game is rigged, you don't ask, how can I play better? You ask, why the fuck am I at this table? So what would happen if Americans across with different groups, different religions, and all different people come together and deem the rules as illegitimate? Economically, if work wages couldn't keep up with the pace of housing, educations, and all the necessary things like healthcare and the basic cost of living, like groceries, while wealth is accumulated somewhere else and concentrated, one would think no matter how hard I work, it seems like they keep raising the ladder. Taxation can create the same problem. If me as a worker, my income is heavily taxed while wealthy people take advantage of them, One would ask, why am I expected to follow the rule, but that appeared different to somebody who makes way more than I do? And housing could even intensify it. The younger generation working extremely hard for housing, yet they can't seem to buy a home. While existing assets owners keep accumulating. Let's throw healthcare in there. A person have insurance, pay taxes, and yet they still faced with ridiculous medical bills. They will wonder, what does my participation in this economy, how does that even benefit me? Political influence. Those with the bread have better access to policymakers. So one would think that my vote counts, but does it carry the weight of somebody with way more money than I have? I could go on. So it goes from hardship to perceived unfairness. That's when there's loss of trust, loss of legitimacy, withdrawal from the corporation. Then everything falls. Instability. Societies can survive people earning less than others, people disagreeing with certain laws and things like that. But when that number becomes large, where people actually think that everything lacks legitimacy, people as a collective would literally stop cooperating. See, people can tolerate losing a game, but what they won't tolerate is playing a game that they believe that was designed for them to lose in the first place. Because at least when you losing in a game, you still believe with the right strategies, the right combinations, and the beautiful segues, you still have a chance of winning that game. Side note, this is not me being an enabler and telling people, hey, go be a loser, or try to justify people not trying to be in losers. But what I am saying is, if the game is rigged, all bets are off. And history have shown that thousands of times. And I know the people on the winning team would say, if I can do it, so can you. But that is literally disingenuous, because everybody don't start off at the same starting point. Everybody is not dealt the same hand. If everyone was rich, then who would go produce? The goalposts would literally have to be moved. The poor is literally necessary. And if you scroll down the timelines of any social media, you will start to see how badly people are talking about the economy, the healthcare, people not being able to afford groceries, people getting treated unfairly. At the same time, you can go to the Met Gala and people are spending millions and millions of dollars to have this celebrity prom, while there's people who can't even afford to pay their rent after having 2 full-time jobs. And a cup of coffee every morning is literally stopping you from reaching your goals. But what do I know? Live in the moment, because you'll be dead in the future.